everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to do a brief demo on how to create the Zine cover using Pixlr E. So if you remember in class we went over there's two different forms of Pixlr. There's Pixlr X that has a much kind of simpler sort of sidebar, and then Pixlr E, which tends to be a bit more advanced and more similar to Photoshop. So let's just get started, shall we? So the first thing that we have to do is, right now, this is what I'm working with. This is my blank image. However, you're going to notice that right now, that image is long ways. And a magazine cover should be something like this. It should be tall, not like this. So we have to actually take this and we're going to rotate it or turn it 90 degrees to basically face upright. So in order to do that, we're going to go to... Sorry, it's like, okay. You're going to go to image rotation, and you can either do left or right, doesn't really matter. And then you're going to get something like this, okay? And now it comes into actually figuring out what image we want to put in. Now, the thing to keep in mind is, if you notice, there's not really a button to use that can get us the stock images. So in Pixlr X, there's actually a button designed that you can just use stock images to find. However, in Pixlr E, you don't have that option. So you're just going to go straight to Google Images and you're going to search for what you want to use. So in my magazine, I'm going to, what should I make it about? I'm going to do K-pop, okay? Because I like K-pop. And I'm going to do one of my favorite groups, and they're called Dreamcatcher. So I'm going to search Dreamcatcher, K-pop, and already these are all of the images that we're using. And something you want to keep in mind is the shape of the image that you're using. So I may really like this image, but what you're going to notice is it's very wide. It's not tall like the magazine cover is. So I would avoid using that. You want to try to find a tall image that you're going to want to use. Maybe this. Not the best quality. So let me put a pause on this until I find an image, and I'll be right back. Okay, so welcome back. So I just found this image that I really like. So I would just right-click, copy image, and then to paste it in, what you can do is you can either go to edit and paste, or in this case, you're going to do also, you can do Control V, or I know some computers also will let you right click and then paste it in, whichever way works best for you. I'm going to resize the image just to kind of fit all of here. And it's important to note where the image ends, because if you fill the whole space, now we're kind of losing some of the image, and I want to try to keep as much of that image as possible. So I'm going to just make it like that. And then using my crop tool here on the left hand side, I'm just going to crop that image like so. So already this is what I'm working with. Now our next step is, after our image, is probably the most important part of the Zine cover, which is going to be your text. So first we're going to go to the text tool right here. And the text does look a little different than what it would be like in Pixlr X, but it's basically all the same. So if you remember, during your brainstorm sheet, I had you come up with different title ideas. So this is where we're going to do first. We're going to do our title. So my title is going to be K-pop monthly, and I want to figure out where I want it. So right now, I would like it to be on top, and I can make it a little bigger to fill that space. And then to make the size of the font bigger, just make the size like that. Okay. So right now, this is my cover, and it's okay. I would encourage you definitely play around with some of the font options. You're going to get some more interesting sort of things to work with. Like Aberrus looks a lot better and kind of more interesting than just Verdana. Obviously, you want to use font that's easy to read. So I would discourage you from using fonts that are very hard to actually figure out what it says. But this is cool right there. Another option is that if you're noticing it looks a little blended in with the background, you can always change the color. like that. You can also, in styles, you can add a shadow. You can also add an outline like that. And so you just want to kind of keep playing with this until it's eventually what you want it to be. And you can just kind of mess around with that. So let's say eventually I'm happy with my title. Now, the important thing that you have to actually put in are those sub-articles on the side that are going to tell you a bit more about yourself. So add text, and you can either use the same font or a different one. I usually like to use a different, more simple one, just to kind of make it different from the title. So in my text, I would write about maybe first this group, right? So Dream Catcher's latest comeback is a hit. So the first thing we're noticing is that is way too big, right? So definitely decrease the size like that. And I'm actually going to just kind of work on resizing like this. And you're going to have to play around with it a little bit until eventually it's going to fit. And then you figure out where you want to put it. So I want to put it over there. I'm going to actually make it like that. And obviously that's not showing up again. So what you can again do is play around again with more of that and play around with the color. You can make it black. And if you're noticing it's still not working, again, you just want to play around with some of the styles, okay? So basically what your assignment is to do today is to start working on your cover. It does not have to be finished. By Thursday, I'm going to put up a Google Classroom post about putting up your draft. And on Friday, we're going to have just like a group critique of just about like any suggestions or feedback that we have. So if you have any questions, definitely just come during class and I'll be there. And good luck. Bye.